Now dashing the hopes of U.S. President Donald Trump, Venezuela's opposition leader and democracy activist Maria Corina Machado has won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. Machado has largely been in hiding since last year's presidential elections after refusing to bow out when Nicolas Maduro declared victory in a U.S. and EU-criticized election. The Nobel Peace Prize, worth $1.2 million, is due to be presented in Oslo on the 10th of December, the anniversary of the death of Swedish industrialist Alfred Nobel, who founded the awards in his 1895 will. Take a look.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace, to a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amidst a growing darkness. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado. As the leader of the democratic forces in Venezuela, Maria Corina Machado is one of the most extraordinary examples of civilian courage in Latin America in recent times.
Maria Corina Machado is often called Venezuela's Iron Lady for her fight for democracy against a brutal authoritarian state. She is seen as an example of civilian courage in Latin America in recent times. Machado emerged as a key figure in a political opposition that was once deeply divided, an opposition that found common ground in the demand for free elections and representative government. A qualified industrial engineer, she served as a member of the National Assembly of Venezuela from 2011 to 2014. Machado entered politics in 2002 as a founder of the vote monitoring organization SUMAN. She is the national coordinator of the political party Vente Venezuela. In 2023, Machado won the opposition primary election to become the unity candidate for the 2024 Venezuelan presidential election. She was promptly declared ineligible by authorities loyal to Maduro. She was barred from challenging Maduro in 2024 elections and then detained and released after seeking to fire up resistance to the Venezuelan leader. She embraced the reluctant candidacy of González Urrutia, accompanying him on rallies and soaking up the spotlight he shuns. Always dressed in white, she often appears at rallies with multiple rosaries around her neck, gifts from adoring supporters. Machado won the Nobel despite US President Donald Trump leading a public campaign to win this award. Interestingly, Trump had posted on Truth Social in support of the Venezuelan leaders' movement in January this year. Through the last few weeks, Trump has often claimed credit for what he calls brokering 7 peace deals. He also suggested that the Nobel Committee will find a reason not to award him the prize. The US President even said he deserved it like no other, but the Nobel Committee thought otherwise.
During the past months, US President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and he'd like to have it. He even said that it would be an insult to the United States if he doesn't get it. What does as chairman of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, think of this, and how has this campaign-like activity by the president and his supporters, domestically and internationally, affected the deliberations and the thinking in the committee?
In the long history of the Nobel Peace Prize, I think this committee have seen any type of campaign, media attention. We receive thousands and thousands of letters every year of people wanting to say what for them leads to peace. This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel.
The Nobel announcement comes as the United States has increasingly carried out strikes off its shore in international waters, claiming to act against drug smugglers. The US military action has killed at least 21 people in recent weeks. Washington accused Maduro of leading a drug cartel and does not recognize him as the country's legitimate leader. Bureau Report WION The World is One.
All right, and let's also listen into the moment when the Venezuelan opposition leader found out about being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Listen to this.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello?
Am I talking to Maria Corina Machado?
Yes, this is Maria Corina.
Yes, Maria Corina. My name is Christian Berghardt Piken. I am the secretary of the Norwegian Nobel Committee in Oslo. And I'm calling to inform you that in a few minutes it shall be announced here at the Nobel Institute that you will be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025.
Oh my God.
So the warmest congratulations to you, Maria.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I have no words. I thank you so much, but I hope you understand this is a movement. This is a achievement of a whole society. I am just one person. I certainly do not deserve this. Oh my God.
I think both the movement and you deserve it. So I'm sure this comes as a surprise, and I'm sorry to have to wake you up in the middle of the night to convey this. We don't have much time. We actually are making the announcement just in a few minutes. But I want to quote just shortly from the text that will be announced shortly, where it is said that you are receiving the prize for, and here I quote directly from the announcement, for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy.
I'm honored, humbled. I am very grateful on behalf of the Venezuelan people. We're not there yet. We're working very hard to achieve it, but I'm sure that we will prevail, and this is certainly a biggest recognition to our people that certainly deserve it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, to discuss this further, joining us now from Caracas is Diego Sequeira, who is a political analyst, journalist, and he also works in the independent Mission Verdad outlet. Thank you so much for joining us on WION The World is One. All right, let's talk.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, sir. Now, let's talk about the big news of the day, the Nobel Peace Prize 2025, which has been awarded to Maria Corina Machado. And what do you have to say about this?
Well, they could have rewarded Trump for that matter, because they're rewarding Trump's agenda, the current regime change agenda in Venezuela. So in that sense, there's no big difference. Actually, it could be called like they're rewarding Marco Rubio's agenda in this case. I mean, I could think about at least 10 Venezuelans that deserve it before her, not necessarily on the field of politics. This also follows a political agenda in a very complex and violent context where the country is going through, in which she has a significant role regarding the Western audience.
Right. Now, just to expand on that further, what does this recognition symbolize then, in your opinion, in this global context and what we're seeing playing out in the geopolitical stage?
Well, it's quite frivolous, and it also basically reflects the vision, the worldview of the Norwegian parliament, and nothing less than that. And it's like the reward they gave to Obama without doing anything in 2009, or you can also think about the award they gave to the EU, or even Henry Kissinger for that matter. I mean, it just follows the strengthening in a moment that María Corina Machado had a very low approval rate here in Venezuela as a representative of the most fringiest and extremist opposition. That's also a fact. I mean, she's not the leader or the unifier of the opposition whatsoever. It's still cracked. And also, her section of the opposition has also blackmailed and pressured a lot to more rational actors in the Venezuelan opposition in order to fold them back and not follow a more rational agenda.
All right, but of course, let's talk about what you said earlier as well. We know that Trump had been lobbying for this peace prize as well. He said that multiple times. Now we have to wait and watch what his reaction to this is going to be. But of course, we think that he's going to be watching this very closely as well. How do you interpret the committee's message to global powers through this award? Because you seem to not agree with this choice. So what do you think is the larger message here?
Well, you know, it's not a matter of agreeing with this choice. I think it's coherent with the actual state of these global powers, especially the ones that actually oppose Trump. I mean, they can say whatever they say about the confidentiality or whatever. Of course, they were not going to give it to him. He doesn't deserve it either. And I'm quoting now María Corina Machado. She doesn't deserve it, which is also true. But it sends a message of enforcing and trying to keep the pressure and the heat on the illegal means in which they try to deliver the regime change in Venezuela. I mean, María Corina Machado has supported the extrajudicial killing of fishermen and other people, maybe smugglers, of course, I don't know, but of the coast of Venezuela. She has supported also the policy inside the U.S. regarding migration and the expulsion of Venezuelan migrants, and with a very negative solidarity approach to that kind of things. I mean, and also she's very close to Netanyahu, and also and she has never condemned the genocide in Gaza, for example, and it's also pretty close to persons like Javier Milei. So this is a kind of fringe politician, undemocratic politicians that they are rewarding because there's of course a wider interest, and also it kind of resembles a bit of a white saviors complex from the side of Europe and the side of Norway in this case, and the side of the liberal global powers.
All right, Mr. Sequeira, we hear you. We've made some very pertinent points as well. Thank you so much for joining us on WION World as One with your insights on this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.